Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by yours truly, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are forever and ever engineered to win. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about your online presence, how you market yourself, your billboard. All right. So let's get into it. So basically, all of us have a social media page, right? It could be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, whatever the case may be, right? But when it comes to our careers, I believe that everyone should have a LinkedIn. Uh, like years and years ago, right? I wasn't like didn't really care about LinkedIn. It was around the time that it first started getting popular, and I was like, whatever. I'm working and everything like that. But as I gradually started to, once you start looking for new opportunities, you have to go where the traffic is at, right? So at that time, because I remember a long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Monster was super popular, right? I don't even know if Monster is still around right now, but that's where I was applying for tons and tons of jobs. That I think that's where I got my first job in QA, like it came through Monster. But times change, different platforms come out, and the way that LinkedIn is, it's a social media platform, but it's a professional social media platform, right? And the problem that I see is a lot of people, they end up using their LinkedIn as if it's their Facebook or their Twitter or their Instagram and things like that, right? So they'll be posting, random things about like how they feel, about how employers are acting and stuff like that, right? And it's like there's always some type of self-entitled mindset in that I deserve a job, or by you not reaching out to me or even hiring me, then the problem is on the employer, right? Or the person who's looking. But for me at least, when it comes to the job market, right? Employers are shopping around the same way that you would be shopping around at a store for a particular item. It meets your needs, it meets your requirements, and you also want to get the best deal available for it, right? Now, if you are shopping for that item and the vendor is, you know, almost denigrating you for not purchasing their product, then you have second thoughts about, is this somebody that I want to do business with? Is this somebody that I want to work with? All right. So, and that's not to say that you should be having those type of posts on your other more personal social media platforms, because you are a you're a billboard, right? You market yourself, you represent yourself. And the way that you represent yourself is the way that I always see it is, would I want to work with me? The way that I carry myself, the way that I speak, the way that like my mindset, am I somebody that like would I be willing to work with myself? Right? When I am when I'm coaching, right? Whatever type of coaching it is, whether it's in basketball or jujitsu, or if I'm coaching technically, right? Preparing for helping somebody prepare for interviews, or giving them resume feedback, giving them feedback on code reviews, whatever the case may be, right? I'm I'm pushing them sometimes very hard, because The thing is, right, I believe that you have to outwork everyone, right? But in that outworking, you wanna have the right presentation. You don't want to make people you don't wanna, like, denigrate people, right? You don't want to have an entitled mindset, a "I'm better than you" type mindset, right? And a lot of times, the way that we portray ourselves on these platforms, and sadly enough, like, on these professional platforms, right, where you're supposed to be warm and inviting and open and saying, "Hey, you should wanna work with me," right? We end up being in a way that it's like pushing people away. And it's unfortunate because you might be super qualified for the job, but your attitude might give the vibe of, "I'm not easy to get along with, I'm not easy to work with," right? So, for example, you'll have people reposting something that somebody else posted, right? And to me at least, we repost the things that we generally agree with. Now, if you repost something and you say, "Oh, what do you guys think about this?" Or, I don't agree with that," whatever the case may be, right? That's different. But when we just do a blind repost, you know, sure, you don't put the context of why you're reposting and stuff like that. But repost without context, one can only assume that you agree with what you're reposting. So now, if you're reposting something about negative about employers and how they act and how they work and their practices and how they're unfair and everything like that, I personally wouldn't want to work with some like bring somebody into my organization who's already starting off with a negative mindset, right? I'm like, oh, this might be a problem. Do I want to take on the stress? And so that's the thing. Like you have to think about this. My last two positions that I got, right? It wasn't me who went out and applied for these positions. It was recruiters who reached out to me from LinkedIn. They didn't even have my resume, right? They reached out to me. They looked at my profile, and my profile wasn't even as updated as it should be on LinkedIn. But based on my skills, based on my history, all of that, they reached out to me. And then we went through the process, interviewed and everything, got the positions, right? But imagine if I was talking negatively about my current position, or if I was talking negatively about hiring practices and all this type of stuff, right? Would they reach out to me? I would say, I don't know. Sometimes employers will take that because your skill is way more like what you can bring is way more than your attitude, I guess. But I think that's rare. I think that's rare. And it's unfortunate because there are very, very talented people out there. But instead of a lot of times, instead of looking within, looking at our process, our pipeline, what we're doing wrong, right? We go and we lash out and we blame others. And now when you start blaming others, it's like, well, I don't even know you yet, and it's already my fault why you're in your situation. Why do I wanna what now, if something goes wrong, what are you gonna say about me then? You're already bad mouthing everyone as a whole now, right? But now things don't go your way even more, and now I'm gonna be the target of your victim. I'm gonna be your target, right? So I'm like, is it worth it? Are you worth the headache? So does that mean that you shouldn't you know, express your freedom of speech and everything like that? No, not really. You can say whatever you want, but our words also have consequences. See, what I would say though is maybe you need a better mindset. Maybe your mindset is what's holding you back. maybe you're not doing that self-reflection, that self-analysis. What should I do? Like, hmm, we're supposed to be technical here, right? So we're supposed to analyze, we're supposed to investigate, we're supposed to use statistics, all that good stuff, right? So have you done that self-analysis? Where am I getting stuck in the process? Oh, I'm getting stuck here. What are the reasons that I could be getting stuck here? Oh, I can't get any interviews. Maybe it's my resume. Hey, what's wrong with my resume? Hmm, it's not inviting. It's just, every like let me look up other resumes from other people in my same field, right? Oh, our resume says exactly the same thing. Oh, maybe the only difference is, although my resume says it's the same exact thing as the other person, maybe their resume says they have 5 years of experience. They have seven, and I have maybe two. So, how can I make my resume sound better than the person who has 5 to 7 to 10 years of experience? What can I do to get more interview requests? But instead, we're gonna go and we're gonna post and say, "Oh, I can't believe this company did this. I was more qualified, but they hired this person." How do you even know? And why do you focus your energy on that? Like plenty of positions I was rejected for. And guess what? They just they went on my list. I'm like, okay, cool. All the value that I would have gave you, I'm gonna give it to whoever hires me. And that's what I do, right? I don't care about I'm not crying and moaning about, oh, I was the best qualified. I'm in my mind, I'm always the best qualified, but I don't care. Because when I know I'm the best, I don't need to go online and post about, oh, uh, they hurt my feelings because I was more qualified, but they chose somebody else instead. I don't care. There's so many different factors that go into hiring, like on why somebody gets hired over somebody else. So many factors, but you just see one, and you hone in on that, and that's what you hold on to, and then you go and complain about it on your on your professional social media platform. I'll tell you this: when hiring, there's many different people in the pipeline. It's not just one person who makes a decision, right? Many different people, and they all see something, right? They might not see everything, but they all see something. So, how are you presenting yourself? How are you marketing yourself? What's your brochure? What's your brochure? If you're driving down the highway and you see a billboard, right? And that billboard is of you. What is the one easy tagline that that billboard will say to describe you? Will that billboard say, "I'm down for the cause. I'm a team player. Whatever you need, I got it"? Or will it say, "It's your fault. I'm the victim. You hurt me"? What is it going to say? Is it going to be inviting people to come work with you? Or is it going to say, "I'm a headache waiting to happen"? I mean, we already have enough stress from the work itself that we're doing. Do we want to bring in like do we want to bring in people stress? That's certainly the last thing that I would want to do. And I'm telling you, like when people are interviewing, right? You can ask any recruiter this. They're looking for many different things. Now, when you make it to your next part of the interview, That person who's interviewing you is looking for many different things. Oh, but you feel judged, right? Well, that's what you kind of do when you are asking for something, right? You need a job, you want to launch your career, you're putting yourself in the hot seat. Now, if you've got it where you can get like 10 interviews in a week and you get to choose, then that's a totally different story, right? But a lot of times it's the other way around where you are hoping to get an interview. I've spoken to some people before. It's like, oh, I applied for this company and, I'm just waiting to hear back. Like, is that it? Like, who else how many companies did you apply for this week? Oh, just that one I'm waiting to hear back. I'm like, do you know how many people applied for that position? Like, seriously? You're waiting to hear back from a company? Doesn't work that way. You can't go on to a professional social media platform where you have all these type of recruiters and hiring managers who are looking for people, right? They're looking for people to do a particular job. And then maybe you have all the skills, it says, oh, this person is a match. So now maybe they click on your profile and then they see negativity all up and down your profile, all up and down your LinkedIn, right? It's like, oh man, like they can do the job, but is this going to be like, is every one on one that we have going to be a headache for me? Am I going to be are people going to be reporting this person saying, "Oh, this is their attitude, this is their mindset. They're not like they can do the job, but they're not a team player." See, and these are all the like when I'm just sometimes I'm just browsing through LinkedIn and I see certain things reposted, I see certain things posted, I'm like, "Oh boy, this can be problematic." That's one of the reasons that I'm happy that I don't play that big of a role in I'm happy I'm not a recruiter. I am happy I'm not a recruiter. See, because I can work personally with somebody and help them get the skills, get the mindset so that they can go into a job interview and they can crush it, right? But to be a recruiter and have to work with all these people and parse through like if a recruiter is working with 100 people, right? I can only imagine that they have to maybe parse through 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 different people who are reaching out to them and who they're reaching out to as well. I don't think I I salute the recruiters, the tech recruiters, all of them, the contracting agencies. I salute those people because that is a like to me, just thinking about it is a tiring job. So let's say it's a tech job, right? And now the recruiter reaches out to somebody and they start going through the process. They get to the tech interview part and then the person doesn't do well. So now the people who review it reject them and now the recruiter has to reach out to that person. Like, maybe they send them an email or something, but I d- like I don't want to be in that position, you know? And and the thing is, right, like, so now let's say you get that rejection. Do you go on social media and say on your professional social media and say, "Oh, like you call out that company, right?" You go out and you call out that company. I'll give you an example. A lot of times throughout the process, right? You might not get chosen for a position, right? Maybe the position, like maybe the company has to take the position away for some reason. Like they have to pivot in their plans. And are you going on social media and bad mouthing the company. Because what happens sometimes, right? Maybe 6 months down the line, they have something and they actually liked you, right? Maybe they actually like you. And 6 months down the line, something comes up and they want to reach back out to you. But what if you were talking bad about them when you got that first initial rejection? See, whenever I got a rejection email, I would reply back, okay, thank you. I appreciate you taking your time to consider me for the position. Because I don't know what the future holds. Yeah, I never hear back from a recruiter. Cool. I move on. I don't have time to focus on the things that I can't control and other people's actions. I can only control my actions. I can only control my attitude. I can only control my mindset. And my mindset is to win. And focusing on someone who hasn't chosen me to be on their team, that's not going to help me win whatsoever. What's going to help me win is moving forward, keep keep doing what I have to do, positive mindset, right? So now let's transition to another part of the whole professional social media, right? To me, LinkedIn is an extension of your resume, right? LinkedIn and whatever sites like LinkedIn, right? It's an extension of your resume. So I remember in one of our Q&A shows, right? Someone asked like, is it um like what do you think about putting your job history on LinkedIn and stuff like that? And having their profile private, only their connections can see it. Well, 10 out of 10 times, a recruiter is not going to be one of your connections, and they're not just going to reach out to you for just to reach out to you, right? They need to see your skills, they need to see your profile, they need to see your work history, all of that stuff, right? So if you block yourself out from the world, then you don't really have anything to complain about because you're not marketing yourself. You are your billboard. So back to the example of driving down the highway and you see a billboard and it just has your face or maybe your name on it. What do you expect to get out of that? I wouldn't care about that billboard. I'm like, all right, whatever. Maybe it's just a placeholder billboard, you know? So now on your LinkedIn, you might let's take it a step further, right? So let's say your profile is not private on LinkedIn, and but you don't have a picture, right? I've seen plenty of LinkedIn profiles without a picture, but maybe based on what you have listed there, you can get contacted. But you would expect to see the person that you're looking to interact with, or maybe you do have a picture, right? But it's like maybe some picture of something else, or maybe it's blurry. Who knows what the case may be, right? Based on your industry, you should have some type of professional looking picture. It's it's marketing. Everything that you do, like I didn't understand that till not too long ago. Everything that you do is marketing. You are your like you have to be your biggest fan. You have to be your biggest supporter. So some of the people that I coach, some of my mentees, I have to remind them, right? I advocate for you. I stand up for you, right? I will, give you recommendations. I will do interview prep with you. I will do resume review with you. Whatever it is that you need, right? But I can't be confident for you. I can't market you as best as you can market yourself. So something that I normally do, right? Because I'll be getting tons and tons of like requests on LinkedIn to get a like for a position, right? Since I'm a QA engineer, usually just for QA, right? And what I'll do is the people that I am coaching and that I'm mentoring, because I am very happy with the company I'm at, with the work that I do, etc. So what I'll do is the people that I'm coaching and mentoring, I will respond to that recruiter and say, "Hey, I'm not really in the market right now, but this person right here, I personally coach them, right? And I personally mentor them. So I would highly recommend that you reach out to this person and and you already know that they have the backing of someone who's been in tech for 20 years and in QA for the past 15 and doing automation for the past 12. I closely work with this person sometimes on a daily basis, right? And then I forward it to the person and say, all right, I this is what I told this person, and they should be reaching out to you. But if not, you reach out to them, send them your resume, right? Because if they're reaching out to me, they need somebody, right? And if they can't get me, if they wanted me and they can't get me, I can give them a version of me, because I believe that the people that I work closely with, that I'm coaching, right, that they are to a lighter extent a representation of me, because I put my name out there and I vouch for them. I don't like vouching for people. That is so hard for me to do, because maybe I have trust issues, right? But I don't necessarily recommend people for positions or nothing like that, right? But if you work close with me, if you pretty much follow my guidance, follow my direction, if you pretty much do what I say, right? Technically and mentally, right? Then I have no problem. Someone sends me a position, I'm like, this is the person for it, right? And I tell you, like, all right, if you get this position, right, and then I'll help you prepare for the interview, all that stuff. And if you get that position, then we work together. You run into trouble, I will help you, right? And because the key is the goal is, it's not necessarily the position. It's your development, it's your growth, right? But here's the thing: if I forward your profile to the person and you have a terrible social media presence, especially like on a professional platform, then now they might not even want to talk to you. So let's move forward, right? So now let's say you have a professional looking picture, all that good stuff, and now they get to your like your summary or whatever they call it, right, on LinkedIn, and it it doesn't say much, it doesn't make sense, right? So they're like, I don't know if this is the right person for this. If it doesn't express about your goals, your interests, I don't know if that's the right person. Think about it like this, right? When you are on Netflix, what makes you what makes you decide to click on a title or keep scrolling? When you're on YouTube, you're scrolling through your feed, right? What makes you want to click on a video or keep scrolling? Any social media platform. What makes you want to click or keep scrolling? Now, do you apply that to your own platform, to your own representation? And now, let's put it like let's take it a step further. So let's say you're scrolling on YouTube, and do you click on the things that you disagree with and now just to like, because let's say you're posting negative stuff on your LinkedIn and we're scrolling, I'm like, okay, this is what this person feels. I don't really feel like dealing with them, you know? But or are you posting stuff that it's like, I want to learn more about this person. This person seems interesting. Um, oh, they're posting about their hobby. They're into this. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is how they integrate their hobby with their work, with what they're interested in doing, right? Oh, that's a nice parallel. Oh, look at them breaking down this thing that they would do in this position. Look at them breaking down this concept. I think that might be a good fit for a company. They haven't even spoken to you yet. They're just looking at what you do. So I remember a few weeks ago, right? I mentioned that I was impressed by something. It was a little video that someone who was transitioning from being a teacher, I think an English teacher or something like that, right? Being a teacher into QA. They created a video sharing how they break down their time when looking for positions, how they study, what times they apply for jobs, all of this stuff, right? They put themselves out there, and I found that impressive. Like, if I was like that would be somebody that I would want to hear more from, right? To hear their mindset, to hear their strategy, because the way I see it, the way you handle your personal life in a lot of cases is the way that you are going to handle your work life. So this person was not working, but they were living as if they were, so they could be prepared for their position, and I found that impressive. So let's further a little bit more before we wrap it up. Right now, I'm trying to find out if you're a match. Right. So now I'm looking through your work history on LinkedIn, right? Because I don't even have your resume yet. I might ask you for your resume based on what your LinkedIn says. I don't know yet. So I keep going, and your work history is very bland, very generic. It doesn't say much about what you do, and the stuff that it says is like, yeah, like it's not necessarily special for like I can just play Russian roulette and find any QA person to do those things. If talking about QA, for example, right? It can be any position. What in your job, like your job that you have posted, what makes me like, okay, this is the value that they're going to bring to this company, to my company, right? So at the end of the day, your LinkedIn is an extension of your resume. You can see it as your pre-resume, right? You can see it as your pre-resume where, oh, um, this is my introduction to my introduction, because I want to make my LinkedIn very searchable, very appealing, very inviting. Maybe if I'm posting stuff, I'm posting stuff about the type of work that I do, the quality that I bring. Maybe talking about articles, maybe talking about my mindset, how I approach different things. So you are marketing yourself. You're being your billboard, so that when that recruiter comes across your page, they're like, "Oh, I like the skills. I like the work history. Oh, look at these LinkedIn learning courses that they did." Right? Let me find out more about this person. Hey, person, I was looking at your LinkedIn and I think you might be a good fit for this position that we have open. Is there a way that I can contact you, and can you send me your resume to this email address? That's normally how those messages go, right? They were browsing LinkedIn, they came across your profile, they liked what you have on there, because you marketed yourself properly. I want to know more. Can we set up a time to talk? Can you send me your resume? Can you go apply here? And then now going back to our resume series, right? Now you send them that nice resume showing the value that you'll bring to the company. And then it goes from there. That's how I mean, that's getting into the door. So many people don't even make it to the door because the house looks uninviting. Sometimes your LinkedIn profile, it looks like a house with no lights on, grass isn't cut, a bunch of trees, bad paint. The roof might be leaking. Who knows? But a lot of times that's how we represent ourselves. I know I represented myself on LinkedIn when I first joined it because I mean I was working. I didn't care. But through the years, I've come to see the value and the importance of it. You know, maybe LinkedIn wasn't that big back then when you know, but now if you do not properly market yourself online, because now we're online, we're not walking around handing one-page resumes anymore. It's not like, oh, I'm walking around into this company with this nice suit on and everything like that, trying to hand my resume. No, we're now we're doing it online. And if you're doing it online, you have to properly represent yourself. That's the key. There's no other option. I mean, there is another option, but you don't like it. My my idea, my philosophy is you always have to put yourself in the best position to win. Oh, but I'm not being true to myself. Okay, well, then you and yourself can stay unemployed and complaining. Oh, but then that's being fake. Well, you know what? My employment is not fake. My work ethic is not fake. My mindset is not fake. It, you you got to play the game to win. You got to play by the rules of the game that you're playing. So, anyhow, think about that. All right. I want you to consider that. Check out your check out how you market yourself. Every single thing that you do, it's marketing. Every single thing that you do. Think about it as a marketing example. You run out to the store, 5 minutes. You're marketing yourself. You don't know who you're going to run into. Now, and to the store, it might be like a few thousand people that you might be exposing yourself to, right? But online, it's millions of people, billions of people. And a lot of those, if you market yourself properly, you might put yourself in the position to win. But many times we don't care about our appearance, we don't care how we market ourselves, none of that. Anyways, the choice is yours. You can either, have a negative online presence, especially on your professional side of the things, right? Talk bad about companies or not properly market yourself, not have a inviting online presence, and then you end up staying exactly where you are. But I'll tell you this: the people who I work with closely, They will not make those mistakes. They will always come prepared. They're not going to be posting negative stuff. We are focused and driven. And that's why we're going to win. That's why we already are winning. All right. On that note, thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every single time we go live and drop a new video. We have tons and tons of content that is being released just for you, just so you can level up and get better. Like the video, share the video with somebody who finds it useful. And if you haven't done so yet, check out the Patreon, right? I am going to further this video in there where I'm going to go into my own LinkedIn page and profile and show you how I have mine structured, why I have it structured that way, why I have the information. Why is it that every single day recruiters are reaching out to me for different positions, right? And in there, I can also get you ready for those positions that they're trying to give to me and recommend you, help you prepare to have your resume to be matching those qualifications and how to properly apply for those positions and properly interview for those positions. But that is inside the Patreon. So check it out and go from there. Right. But until next time, friends, family, supporters, non-supporters, this is Tech Coach Ralph signing off.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.